Redline Productions proudly presents.
Hey YouTube! Well, today I wanted to present you all this 2007 Lincoln MKX with 78,000 miles. This is the two-wheel drive model. This is the first year of the Lincoln MKX. Came along with the Ford Edge, which is what it's based on, and you can see some similarities. Here's the back end. Dual exhaust tips, backup sensors on the bumpers, as you can make out. The chrome wheels, well, these are actually wheel covers. 245 60/18s, that's what it rides on. Rear disc brakes, obviously. This is what I mean by covers. It's not really a chrome wheel. Here's the other side. This does not have the Vista roof. Has the keyless entry, 5-digit code. It's been a Ford thing for about 25 years. Longer than that, actually. But you can see the interior. It's very bright, clean looking. Perforated leather inserts. The roof, headliner. Seating adjustments. Already have thigh support adjusted where I like it. Backrest, lumbar support. Ford was quite spot on in terms of comfort in the MKX and the Ford Edge, which is just identical for the most part. Legroom, just excellent, despite the center stack being fat. Just does not intrude with the leg whatsoever. And I'm 6'1", and I'm positioned in a very comfortable spot here. Lots of shoulder room, as you can see, very wide. And the seats, very cushiony lower section, especially on the sides, but actually I will admit that the middle is somewhat firm. Backrest is nicely bolstered on the sides, hugs your torso. Perforated leather inserts, and the reason for that is they're actually cooled and heated. I'll show you that working in a moment. Well, I'll get it working on my seat right now. I love cooled seats. Thigh support, I would have wished for a little bit more for this section to lift up a little bit, but it's tolerable for the most part, and it's a high seating position. Now, interior quality definitely is much better than the Ford Edge. Entire dashboard nicely padded on top. This is coated with this vinyl, seems to be like leather, but you can see the exposed stitching up above. Go over to the passenger side, everything nicely padded, wood accents. You can see the Lincoln name right there. This section over here, also nicely padded. Glove box, it should be damped. You can see that little hole right there. There's supposed to be a cord that's supposed to attach there. I guess somebody removed this glove box and forgot to attach the cord. Owner's manual, you can see. But yeah, this glove box is somewhat tiny. You guys can make out. Shuts evenly though, but you can see how the lines are a bit narrow and then seems to widen up somewhat, but it does shut evenly. It does, well, I will admit, looking at a lower angle, seems to open up a little bit towards that end. Now we have the radio and -6 disc, has an aux, I'll show you where that is. Let me show you at least the display working. No. Vehicle info, you'll see that working here in the center, such as average NPGs, system check, all those things. Stability control, hazards, climate control. It is dual zone. You can see the exterior temperature and the rest of the climate control down here, where you adjust the fan speed, heated and cooled seats for both passenger and driver. You can see the passenger side working. And the dual zone climate controls again. Power outlet. Little pouch here, I guess, for change and such. I do not like this huge gap over here. I find it's just quite excessive, so you guys can make out. And this section is rather grainy for the most part, but this section is padded. Now, fortunately, these are equipped with a 6-speed automatic. No manual shift mode, you just have this overdrive button right there. But a manual shift mode would have been handy in here because you just have it in drive and low, which just takes off on first gear. And you're left with no options if you need to stay locked in 5th or 4th gear when you're in a place with hilly terrains and such. So you're going to be gear hunting for quite a bit here. You have the dual cup holders. This section seems to lift off rather easily. Yeah. I do not like this painted plastic finish here. I know that this wears off over time and it really does become ugly. You can see how it's a bit scratched up over here. Rest of the center console. This section is a bit jiggly. You can see right there, coin holder. Lift up this other flap over here. Here's the rest of the center console. Power outlet, aux jack. Lift up this cover, and it goes much deeper. Hold on, let me plug this back in. Yeah, you can see this is a little bit jiggly here. Center console itself is sure-footed, but not so much the lid. It is padded. You can see the exposed stitching. Now, steering wheel nicely thick all the way around. Exposed stitching, it is leather wrapped. Wood accents here on each side. Radio controls. And for the temp here for the AC. Cruise control. That's about it there. Turn signal lever. Wipers, rear wiper. Steering wheel should tilt once you dislodge this lever here. And telescope. This is to dislodge the tailgate. It is electric. I'll show you that in a moment. Panel dim. Headlamps, pull for fogs. And this is for automatic headlamps. And I already dislodged the hood already. E-brake, push on, push off. Fit finish pretty good on the A-pillar. It's coated with this cloth. No uneven gaps. Same thing on the passenger side. Going into the back seat, and you can see it lifting somewhat on that back pillar over there. Same thing here on the passenger side. Headliner is nicely flush. There's no center dome light here. Holder for the sunglasses. Map lights, and I liked how they use these blue bulbs over here so that any light emitted will be white. You can see it's not yellow, so at least they were that decent just before they were using LEDs and such. But I kind of like the glow of this. It looks more natural. Rearview mirror seems to dim. I do not like how this cord is just hanging there. I find that they could have used something much more better looking than that. And you can see how the holder for the sunglasses here is somewhat uneven. That gap. Let me focus. Yeah, there you go. Sun visor, nicely thick, very plush. Mirror and vanity lights. This mirror and vanity light does look rather low rent, like it came out from a Taurus or an early 2000s Taurus actually. Does not look like it belongs to a Lincoln. The Homelink garage door opener is essentially it's a universal garage door opener. Go over to the passenger side. Yeah, you saw that visor was a bit squeaky. Again, mirror and vanity light. And I forgot to show off here on the steering wheel. It's a little bit worn here. That's why I do not like gray, plastic painted with gray and such. You can see that's what's going to happen down here. Many automakers have a habit of using that. Door panel, nicely padded on top. Wood accents continue. Memory seating up to 2 settings. Power door locks, power mirrors. Both front windows, auto up and down. That does not happen with the back windows. Window lock. And the rest of the armrest nicely padded and more exposed stitching. Surprisingly though, they didn't follow those soft touches down here. So this is just a grainy plastic. Looks like a carryover from the edge, and there is a hard, sharp edge here. You guys can hear it. This does serve as a cup holder. Materials do carry over into the back seat when it comes to the door panel. Same as up front. And yeah, here's a better angle of the back seat. You can see on the side of the driver's seat this little cover here. Side impact airbags do pop out. Now let's bring down this armrest. Pull this latch. This entire thing comes out. Padded in this section. This huge hunk of plastic right there. So this is not going to be good for elbow comfort. You have to have your elbow positioned way back here. This cup holder. I'm not a fan of this style cup holder. It looks very rustic, like something. Like they didn't give much thought about it. They could have made something much more better than that. Plus that latch over here. I do not like that. Well, while I'm at it, here's a better angle of the front seat. You see the dashboard, everything. Lots of legroom. I mean, I had the seat positioned where I liked it, and I'm 6'1". And look at this, room to spare. The only thing is, thigh support is lacking somewhat. I would have wished for this section to at least be a little bit more elevated. But it's not too bad because the seats are very cushiony, very supportive. Even though it's a bench-style seat. This does hug your torso somewhat. And it's actually softer than the front seat, actually. I will admit that. You do have the rear AC here. The lower section of the center console. Power outlet. No shit handles. You do have oh crap handles here on the pillars. And you can see the little logo right there for the airbag, so it does have curtain airbags. Little coat hook. And you do have a light back here as well. This was used since 2000. I first saw this lighting fixture in the 2000 Taurus. They continue to use those blue bulbs. You can see how the light is still very white, so give them credit for that. Now let me recline the seat, because it's easier for me to recline the seat while I'm sitting inside it while holding the camera. Yeah, and you can see how the seat is nicely reclined. And thigh support did improve somewhat. I felt it once I reclined the backrest. So, passengers should not complain whatsoever. This does use LED taillights, by the way. You can see the bulbs here, even for the reverse light. And again, this door is electric, the lift gate. And here is the cargo area. Nice and wide. It's very useful. See this switch here to the side? This is to tumble down the seat, right? You saw how it went down. There's a power outlet down below, and this is the button to close the lift gate. Little storage area here to the side. Very grainy plastics, and you can see the sharp edges right there. Spare tire. Its tools are down there. It's not full size though. It's rather skinny. But stepping out a little bit, you can see how utility in these are just spot on. It's excellent, very wide. Well, let me show you this door closing. Step out before it bumps me on the head. You really have to have some patience to just stand here and just watch it close. Ford's familiar, 3.5 liter, dual overhead cam V6, variable valve timing. It should be good for 265 horsepower. Surprisingly though, that it does not have struts here to hold the hood up. You still have to rely on this prop bar. You would have thought that a Lincoln would have had struts by now. Now, on a side note, this is a very simple vehicle to service, even in your own garage. You can see you still have your oil cap right there. I've seen Mercedes delete the oil dipstick. You still have a transmission dipstick right there, so you can check your tranny fluid and change it on your own. Doesn't have to be at a dealership or even at a quickie lube place, I guess. There's nothing special there. The hood even sounded quite solid when I closed it. Very quiet. Open the door, maybe you could hear a little bit more. It's a 4K rev limit. Oh, let me close the door. It's actually more pleasant with the doors closed. You can actually hear somewhat the engine note and the exhaust note. Very quiet, and you don't feel any harsh vibrations or anything. Would I recommend a Lincoln MKX? Yes, I would. You have decent interior quality, very comfortable interior, lots of features here and there. And you can see this interior is somewhat attractive. And again, the utility in these is just excellent. I would even consider it over a Ford Edge, which to me the Edge looks much more immature, and the interior quality just does not compare to this. This is just a hugely forward over the Edge in terms of interior quality. Now, would I compare it against a BMW X5 or an Infiniti FX35? Probably not. I think those cars are more upmarket in my opinion, and they will offer you more better performance. Maybe reliability won't be the same, because I know these already are quite proven. But anyways, YouTube, thanks for watching, and that is it for this 2007 Lincoln MKX.
Yeah, here's some legal stuff for you. The views and opinions expressed in the following video may not necessarily reflect those of the title holding automotive dealer or the entity they represent. All videos are filmed with permission by a professional driver on a set course with the collaboration and assistance of local law enforcement authorities. Do not attempt. Logos and brandings of vehicle manufacturers, dealerships, and online social media sites are the sole property of their respective representation used with permission. The Redline logo, soundtrack, and web resources, as well as all other associated media, are copyrighted intellectual property of The Redline LLC. All rights reserved.